Welcome to the Hormone Hub, your go-to source for the conversations every woman in her 40s and 50s needs to have. I'm your host, Kylie Pinwill, your nutritionist helping you navigate your way through perimenopause, menopause and beyond so you can say goodbye to the endless fatigue, unexplained weight gain, hot flushes, PMS, mood changes and more that come on this hormonal roller coaster. If you missed the memo or think this is only for women of a certain age, ladies, it's time to think again. Now sit back, relax and enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my latest episodes, which are released every week. Share it with your friends, your sweaty sisters. The more we talk, the more we help each other. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hormone Hub. In this episode, we are going to talk about the effects of stress on your hormonal symptoms. This is something I talk about all the time. So the effects of stress during perimenopause and menopause are, pretty varied, but they can include and they can impact us, physically, mentally, emotionally, and, there can be some pretty significant changes because of stress. So we're looking at physical symptoms, during this time. It can be hot flushes, weight gain, fatigue, insomnia, headaches, joint pain. And then when we look at the mental and emotional symptoms of stress, this can include depression, anxiety, irritability, difficulty concentrating and sort of that brain foggy feeling, mood swings, and sort of like increased feelings of just sadness, okay? And then stress, then sort of this has a knock-on effect where it can lead to changes in behaviour. So, we might start drinking more or, drug use, for some women, changes in our eating habit, increased emotional eating, risky behaviours for some women as well. So, it can take form in many different ways. So it's really important that, during this time of life, we show ourselves some kindness and some compassion, talk about it, with girlfriends, create a network, because there's a lot we can do, but if we don't recognize what's happening and if we don't recognize stress for what it is, it's just going to spiral out of control. So some of the different things that we can look at during perimenopause and menopause can include, lifestyle changes such as exercise, relaxation techniques, proper nutrition, and just, FYI, this is what I do. And, for some women, medications, hormone replacement therapy might be a good option. Therapy and counselling might be a good option as well. Okay, so let's dive in. So menopause, as we know, it's a natural transition in a woman's life. It can be accompanied by a variety of different physical, emotional changes. Stress is really common. It's a really common symptom of menopause. And like I said, it can have a significant impact on a woman's mental and physical health. All right, so if we're having a look at some of the symptoms, like I said in the intro, physical symptoms can be fatigue, okay? It can be insomnia, so not sleeping at night, headaches, muscle tension, digestive problems, increased hot flushes, increase in, period symptoms and PMS sort of symptoms as well. It can be emotional symptoms, so feeling cranky, feeling snappy with the ones, you love around you, mood swings, anxiety, worrying about things that, wouldn't have bothered you before or wouldn't ordinarily, worry you. Depression is a big one as well. Now, there's a few reasons, and a few things sort of going on. So definitely the hormonal shifts, during perimenopause and menopause. So when we, have these big, fluctuations in our hormones during perimenopause and that decrease in estrogen during menopause, it can cause these changes and they impact the way we respond to stress and they impact our resilience to stress. So we get these, fluctuating and decreasing levels of our sex hormones. And then, stress causes our body to produce high levels of cortisol, which is, one of our big sort of stress hormones that keeps us safe. It's, it's part of that stress response system. But when we're chronically elevated in stress, it produces, these excess levels of cortisol, which then cortisol is one of our fat storage hormones. So, we start to gain weight and we start to, feel sluggish and not good about ourselves. And the reason why, stress sort of has this impact on us, and I've talked about this before, but if we, are undergoing a lot of stress, and our body can't tell the difference between big stress and little stress. So it can be like big stress is death, divorce, pandemics, changing jobs, moving, things like that. It can be little stress like, running out of coffee, like teaching your 16-year-old to drive, nearly killing you, and then having him say, "Oh, just chill, mum," things like that. And our body can't tell the difference. So when we're sort of up against that stress response over and over again, you can see how that cortisol just simmers away in our body. Now, this has an impact on our digestive system. So stress causes things to slow down, and this is where we get bloating. This is where we can get constipation. It can cause anxiety because, we don't feel safe. We're always sort of on edge. We don't know why. We're not getting a restful sleep because our brain is busy. So we're constantly, have that busy brain chatter. So we're waking up in the night. It's hard to tune off and get back to sleep. And we get sort of stuck in this cycle. And one of the reasons why, it's common for women, there's a lot going on at this stage of life. So it's common for women to experience changes. Our kids might be getting older, they might be moving out. So we might be looking at, an empty nest, which is exciting and then not exciting at the same time. Some women can be looking at retiring, which is a big life change, or job changes, or feeling under pressure, at work because you don't feel like you're, functioning and performing the way that you would. So all of these things, have these knock-on impacts of the way we deal with stress. And then, it's lifestyle as well. So at this point in life, we might find ourselves feeling overwhelmed because, we are looking after those, teenage, young adult, sort of grown-up children, who still need us. We're still trying to juggle those work responsibilities. Our parents might be getting older, so their needs have changed. And, we're trying to juggle all these balls and, try and maintain a healthy lifestyle at the same time. So I get that, it can be easier said than done. So I'm going to come in and give you some sort of like really, just some basic places to start. So, okay, first up, let's talk about exercise. Okay, so we all know the benefits of regular exercise. It can help reduce our stress. It can help boost our mood. It can help flood our bodies full of those good endorphins. But what happens is because we're stressed, we're tired, we don't have that motivation to exercise, and then if we're not exercising, there's potentially weight gain and things like that. So it's sort of, we get stuck in this vicious cycle. But I urge you to, move your body. Okay, so we don't need to, we can move away from the old, we need to have a gym membership and we need to be sweating it out and we need to be jogging and running and doing all that sort of stuff. It actually doesn't matter what you do as long as you are moving your body in a way that feels good for you. So whether that's walking, swimming, walking the dog, throwing a ball for the dog, just get outside and move. And it's a good way to sort of shift that energy by shifting your location. So if you've got an office desk or office job, or a desk job, if you work from home, if you get out of the house, get out of the office just for 10 minutes and shift up that energy. Yoga, stretching, Pilates, meditation, while you're moving is all good things. This Hormone Hub episode is sponsored by The Well-Balanced Woman. If you've been on a hormonal roller coaster, feeling bloated, your digestion isn't the best, and you're sick and tired of feeling lethargic with your weight creeping up, then this is the right program for you. I'm right there with you across the 12 weeks to hold your hand, and I'll give you a loving kick up the bum if you need it. The Well-Balanced Woman is your personalised 4-phase program created to help you regain your energy, balance your hormones and fire up your metabolism so you get the results you're after. The link with all the details is on our show notes or over at kyliepinwell.com wellbalanced woman. Now, next up is eating. So definitely we all know what healthy eating looks like. We just don't always do it. But eating a balanced diet can help sort of maintain those hormone levels and give the body what it needs to stay healthy. So we get our nutrition from eating real food. Real food gives us vitamins, minerals, gives us antioxidants, it gives us polyphenols, it gives us all the things we need. It gives us fibre to keep our digestive system moving. So our body knows what to do with real food. Our body doesn't know what to do with sugar. Our body really doesn't know what, it doesn't want to deal with wine. So, alcohol is not part of a healthy diet. It's going to, work against you. Junk food, sugar, that's all going to make you feel worse. And I'm going to sort of like tap into emotional eating here as well, because it's part of that stress picture. So when we're feeling stressed, a lot of us turn to food for comfort, and again, it's not doing us any favors. And we know this on so many levels, but, we do it anyway. So this is where, rather than me sort of say, okay, that's it, cut out sugar, stop eating chocolate, or put no more crisps, no more cheese. I don't want to sort of say no to you, but instead, what can we do instead to make yourself feel nice that doesn't involve food? So that emotional eating component, like it's very much when we were babies, we cried, our mothers fed us, life went on, So it's intrinsically in us from such a young age. But it could be, do we light a candle while we cook dinner, to make us sort of feel nice? Do we buy ourselves some flowers, and we see those flowers and we feel nice? Do we, sort of have at the end of the week, if, I've had sort of a really good week, I'm going to treat myself to, coffee with a girlfriend on the weekend, so book in those coffee dates. So have things that are going to make you feel good and give yourself things to look forward to that aren't necessarily part of food. Okay, meet a girlfriend, go for a walk, killing lots of birds with lots of stones with that one. Stress can also, it can increase our appetite for a lot of, for some women. So we want to make sure we're getting the right balance of whole foods. So are we getting enough protein at every meal? Are we getting enough healthy fats at each meal? Are we getting enough fiber? So this is going to stop you being on that sugar craving roller coaster as well. And by eating real food and by eating that balanced diet, we're going to help our digestive system. Because when we're under stress, like I said, if we need to run from a bear from an evolution point of view, we don't need to stop and poop behind the tree. So our, body is going to jam up. We are going to, feel bloated. We're going to feel constipated. No one is happy when they're constipated. So we need to sort of identify what's going on with your digestive system and start, supporting your digestive system. Then the next thing we want to do, so we've got exercise, we've got healthy eating, is we want to have a look at the, stress management techniques. So there's a billion mindfulness and, meditations out. There's apps. There's all sorts of things that you can use. My favorite is Insight Timer. They've got lots of sort of meditations that are 10 minutes and under, which are really beneficial. But also getting out, connecting with nature, put your bare feet on the grass, put them in the sand, go for a swim, swim in the ocean, swim in the sea. Connect with people is a big one as well. So find a support network, connect with other women going through a similar sort of thing. And remember, gravitate towards people who are going to lift you up and make you feel good. Okay, we don't want to sort of go in that downward spiral. We want to, start to feel good. Okay. And the other thing is to sort of getting enough sleep and working on, a good sleep routine. So just like when our babies were little and we had to sort of train them to sleep, we have to train ourselves back to sleep as well. And again, stress sort of, it's hard when we're stressed to get sort of deep restorative sleep. So we need to sort of work on, how do we calm ourselves down? How do we sort of chill everything out? Before we go to bed. So getting in a good nighttime routine there as well. And yeah, recognizing and managing those negative thoughts. So if we, stress is very much a perception. Okay, so we perceive stress, stress doesn't happen to us. So while we can't change what's going on around us, we can change the way we respond. And, by regular exercising, by, eating a healthy, balanced diet, by, addressing emotional eating, by, bringing in those mindful techniques, by connecting with friends, it's going to help us change those thought patterns, and this can have a really big impact on, reducing stress. So I just wanted to sort of say, this is all of these things, are what we do inside the Well Balanced Woman program. So a lot of it is, we get back to basics. So eating well, how do we do that? What does that look like on a plate? What works for your body? How do we get your digestive system working? How do we get rid of bloating, constipation, get you sort of regularly moving? How can we incorporate exercise in? What does that look like for you? What do you enjoy? And then, how do we sort of filter out those negative thought patterns and replace them, with those positive mindsets. So it doesn't happen overnight. And, we do all of this over a 12-week period. So we work systematically and sort of holistically on every single area of your health, your mental health, your physical and emotional well-being, because it's that whole picture when we pull it together is wellness. It's not a diet. It's not a gym program. It's not a supplement. It's all of these things pulled together. So you don't have to do it alone. Seek help. All right. So perimenopause definitely can bring about physical and emotional changes that cause stress. So it's important to recognize the signs of stress and take the steps to manage it. So I hope these, tips and techniques today that I've shared with you help you to get on top of stress and, maintain a healthy lifestyle during this transition. All right, my loves, I hope you enjoyed today's episode and I will speak to you very soon. Bye. Thank you for taking the time to listen today. You can head on over to the show notes at kyliepinwell.com/podcast, where you'll find all the links and I have a little bonus surprise waiting for you. Before we go, it would mean the world to me if you head on over to your favourite podcasts channel, subscribe and leave a review. Make sure to screenshot it, DM it to me so I can thank you personally. Then stay tuned for next week's episode. Can't wait to see you then.